Hello, welcome to BTVN. I am your host, Colin Hawley. With me today is the lovely Caroline Rock. How are you on this beautiful Friday, Caroline?
I'm a little tired due to the excessive amount of homework we've had, but I'm so glad I'm hosting with you, Colin.
Wow, the feelings are mutual. We shall return after the intro.
Welcome back. To start off announcements, reminder again that spring sports for high school will begin on Monday, February 29th. Bailey Chowders caught up with Mrs. Foster to hear her talk more about it.
Mrs. Foster here. I'm just trying to remind everybody that spring sports start on Monday, February 29th, and you must have a MISHA physical in the athletic office in order to participate and begin practice on Monday. If you're not sure whether you have one in or not, come down and visit us in the athletic office. Thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. Foster. Moving on with announcements, your Barstow poets, Isabel Thomas, Rosie Pascalini, Liz Bauman, Harper Trogue, Whitney Estes, and Solomon Park will be in the third annual Louder Than a Bomb spoken word competition on Tuesday, March 1st at 6 p.m. at the Rockhurst University Student Activity Center. Please come out and support.
So, Colin, have you enjoyed this weather lately?
Of course, but I'm missing some of those snow days.
Well, fortunately for you, John Butch made a piece asking people their favorite snow memories. Roll it.
Probably when I was either 5 or 6, and it was like the giant snowstorm here, and I remember being in my mom's Honda Odyssey and almost running into a fallen tree, all the roads were icy and stuff, and it was super snowy. It's pretty memorable.
I guess 2 years ago. There was 4 inches, I think.
The most memorable snowstorm I've ever been in, I was actually by myself driving home from Las Vegas. I was living in Boulder, Colorado, and I had gotten caught in the storm of a century on the western slopes. I was going about 15 miles per hour uphill. Listened to Modest Mouse. I'll never forget that. I was listening to Modest Mouse at the time, trying to push through it, and finally had to stop in Silverthorne. I had to pull over. It was about midnight. I was just deadbeat tired after a weekend in Vegas and driving through that storm. And so I was lucky to make it out alive. Very happy to be here.
Memorable snowstorm? When was the last time you even had a snowstorm?
I don't. There's no snow in my cities, so I don't really have any memories of snowstorm. But it will be nice to have one because we got snow day off.
The one during freshman year where I stayed inside for 3 days.
It would have been whatever the ice storm was in the very early 2000s. But there was a huge ice storm and my house lost power for a week, so we had to go up north and stay with some friends. And yeah, it was pretty sick because I didn't have to be at my own house for a whole week, and I got to be somewhere else completely different.
In 2012, when we picked up that 14 inches and then another 8 inches after that, and we built McNichol Mountain in our front yard with my sons, and then we built this ice cave, and then we actually poured cold water on it slowly, and it froze up real thick ice. We had probably 3 or 4 weeks of just playtime in the front yard. It was pretty awesome.
My most memorable snowstorm or winter storm was probably the ice storm we had in the mid-90s. It was my first year here at Barstow. I was coaching girls basketball. The season had just started. It was October. Leaves were still on the trees, and the ice hit, and I remember going home from practice, and I have a big backyard that has tons of trees, and I could just hear cracking and snapping all night. Branches were everywhere, and I went out the next morning, and there were branches covering my entire acre lot. You couldn't see the grass, and the neighbors had the chainsaws. Fortunate, but yeah, that was crazy. My first year at Barstow, 95.
Thanks, John. It's great to hear everyone's favorite snow memories.
Do you want to know one of my favorite memories, Colin?
Of course.
So do you remember when we were kids and we would run down to the corner store with dimes and nickels just to buy some sour candies?
No.
Well, that's one of my favorite memories. Speaking of sour candies, Tiffany Dowdle and Allison Lopez produced a piece about kids trying Warheads for the first time.
What is this thing?
This is not gonna be fun. 3, 2, 1.
Ready?
Yeah.
You gotta put it in your mouth.
Oh, and remember the promise you made me?
Ew. Why are you guys watching me?
You don't like it?
No. In your mouth. On your mouth. It doesn't taste that good.
You okay? You don't like it?
Like it?
Are you okay? You want another? Oh, remember the
You want to try to bite it?
That was good. I kind of like it.
It's better towards the end.
I kind of like it. It's good.
You can spit it out if you don't like it. I don't like that. Yeah. Still doesn't taste good. It's all good. It tastes sour. Yeah.
Great piece. And finally, to end our show, here is Connor Williams for this week's Sports Roundup.
Hey there, Barstow sports fanatics. Welcome back to another Sports Roundup. Last week, the basketball teams wrapped up their regular seasons and began the district tournaments. The boys started the week off on Monday, beating Southwest High School 77-49 in the quarterfinals, then beating Summit Christian 71-47 in the semifinals to advance to the finals on Saturday at 2 p.m. at the Interscholastic League Fieldhouse against Hogan Prep. The boys hope everyone can come out to the game on Saturday to support them as they try to win another district championship. The girls started off their district tournament on Tuesday by playing against Hogan Prep and winning 48-25. In the quarterfinals, the girls played Pembroke in the semifinals last night and had a hard-fought loss. They ended the season with a 17-6 record. The girls also won their conference for the first time since 2009. Awesome season, girls. Well, that does it for the Sports Roundup here in the gym. Back to you guys in the studio. See you later, Barstow Nation.
That's all we have for today, Colin. But before we go, we have another opportunity for you to win a free bag of chips. If you can guess this senior baby, email us at btvn@barstowschool.org.
Unfortunately, we are now officially out of time.
Promise me we'll host again sometime soon?
Maybe.
I'm Caroline Rock.
And I'm Colin Hawley. Have a great Friday, Barstow.